All right, guys, today we're going to talk about automobile insurance. We're going to start out with a quote from Irma Bombeck, who said, "Never lend your car to anyone to whom you have given birth." Okay, so yeah, it's almost guaranteed. You loan your car to a kid and they total it. It happened to us. In fact, it was very scary because we were coming home from church one time and my son was driving our other car. And we came up the road, and there was an accident in the road, and it turned out it was him. Fortunately, everybody was okay, but yeah, that's not something you want to come across. Okay, so should you have automobile insurance, and why should you have it? Well, first of all, it's the law. You must buy car insurance. You don't have car insurance, and you get stopped, you're in big trouble. Okay. Second reason, if you have an accident, you may be liable for tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars. And you want insurance to help you pay that. Okay? You want to be bankrupt because you were driving without insurance. Okay. So types of insurance. You got bodily injury. Injury covers bodily injury for people that you injure with your car. So if you're in an accident and it's deemed your fault, your insurance covers the other person. Sometimes it's actually a percentage. They break it down as a percentage, so it's like 60% one person's fault and 40% another. And generally, your insurance covers the other guy and their insurance covers you. Property damage liability. So it pays for damage caused to you to other people's property. That's different than bodily injury. That's a separate thing. Uninsured or underinsured motorist. This pays for injuries to you or your passengers caused by a driver without liability insurance. Okay, so if you don't have this, and you're hit by somebody and you're injured and they don't have liability insurance, you can sue them, but you probably won't get any money, even if you win, because they don't have any money to give you. And then you're stuck with the bill. Okay? So, it's a good thing to have. Personal injury pays for injuries you or your passengers sustain while in, on, or around or under a vehicle, even if you're not in an accident. It's called no-fault insurance. Comprehensive covers repair of your car due to vandalism, flood, fire, wind, or earthquakes. That's usually a really cheap policy. It doesn't cost very much. Depending on some people just, if you have a real old, worthless car, people will just have liability insurance on it and drive around with just liability. But if you got a newer car, you want to load that thing up with insurance because you want to have it paid for and replaced if there's if something happens to it. Collision pays for damages to your car if it's in an accident, no matter whose fault it is. That's a good one to have. That's kind of expensive though. Car rental pays for a rental car if your car is being repaired. Now, that's not if it just breaks down. That's if it's in an accident. And emergency roadside assistance pays for towing or road assistance should you break down. Now, we have that, and that was a big lifesaver because I blew up an engine down at the beach on a spring break one time and had to have the car towed back to Portland. And that was super expensive. It cost me $0 because the insurance covered it all. It was like $500 to have it towed back to Portland. Okay, so those are your different types of car insurance. Quan's annual premium is $1,284. If he pays it quarterly, there is a $1 per payment surcharge or extra fee. What is the quarterly payment? Well, quarterly means 4 times a year. So the first thing we're going to do is take 1,284, divide that by 4. That's going to be 321. But then they're going to charge him an additional dollar every quarter. So his quarterly payment is going to be $322. Now, I know that my insurance, we pay by the month. Our insurance charges us $5 a month for that. Okay. Stan has $25,000 worth of property damage liability insurance. He caused an accident that damaged a $2,000 fire hydrant and $5,600 worth of damage to another car. How much damage must Stan pay? Well, he's got $25,000 worth of property damage insurance. That's more than the $7,600 worth of damage that he caused. So he's going to pay 0. Okay, it's covered. Now, he's actually going to pay over time because what's going to happen is his insurance premium is going to go up because he's been in an accident. Okay, so he's going to pay for it over time. Now, there are some insurance policies that they'll give you a freebie on an accident one time, and they won't raise your insurance. But most insurance, if you have an accident or any kind of claim, your insurance is going to go up. All right, collision and comprehensive insurance almost always has something called a deductible. So when you purchase the insurance, you can often choose the amount of the deductible. This is the amount you must pay before the insurance company pays for anything. So your choices are usually $250, $500, $1,000, or $2,000. Okay, now why would you choose to pay, the first $2,000? Well, because it makes your insurance a lot cheaper. So if you're a safe driver, you might have a high deductible. Or if you don't have, if you're struggling financially, you might have to have a higher deductible because you can't afford the premiums otherwise. Okay, so Peter has collision insurance with a $1,000 deductible. Peter backs his car into a lamppost and causes $4,300 worth of damage to the car. How much will his insurance company have to pay? Well, very simple. $4,300 minus $1,000, because that's what Peter's going to have to pay. The insurance is going to pay $3,300. So this is the claim. This is the deductible. This is how much insurance pays. Okay, and Peter pays $1,000. All right, very simple. Bodily injury insurance coverage is expressed by two numbers divided by slashes. So the first number is the maximum amount per accident the insurance company will pay to any one person. The second number represents the maximum amount the insurance company will pay per accident. So if you see 150/400, this would mean that your insurance company would pay $150,000, up to $150,000, to any one person harmed as a result of your negligence, and up to a total of $400,000 for any accident. So if you had 3 people who all claimed $150,000, okay, that'd be a total of $450,000. Your insurance is going to be capped out at $400,000. All right, and you're going to end up having to pay the other $50,000. $50,000 is recoverable. $450,000 not so much. Okay, so Bob was in an auto accident caused by his negligence. So he's the one who screwed up. He has 100/300 bodily injury insurance. 3 people injured sued. One was awarded $140,000. Each of the other 2 were awarded $75,000. How much does the insurance company pay? Okay, so here's the thing. Each person will only be paid $100,000. Okay, so this first one sued and won $140,000. The insurance company is going to pay $100,000. You're going to pay $40,000, or Bob's going to pay. Okay? This is what his insurance pays. All right. The other 2 people were awarded $75,000. Okay, so we got to take the total, which is going to be, the insurance is going to pay $100,000 to the first person, 75 to the second person, 75 to the third person. Okay, so that's going to be $250,000. Okay, so that's how much the insurance company is going to pay. And Bob's going to have to pay $40,000. Now, even though that wasn't up to $300,000 for that accident, he's still got to pay the $40,000 because they cap it out at $100,000 per person. Okay. Next, Rodrigo has a policy with 50/150 bodily injury, so $50,000. He also has $50,000 in property damage insurance and $50,000 in personal injury protection. He causes an accident in which he hurts 7 people in a minivan and 4 people in his own car, including himself. The total medical bills for all involved are $53,233. How much does the insurance company pay? Okay, so that would fall, let's see. He gets $50,000 bodily injury and $50,000 personal injury protection. Let's see. So he's going, this looks like he's not going to pay anything. The insurance company's going to pay it all. I feel like this question is missing something, so hang on just a second while I check it. Okay, so if we look at this, he's got $50,000 in personal injury protection. Okay, so if we go back and we look at the definition on page 1 of our notes, okay, personal injury pays for the injuries you or your passengers sustain while in, on, or under the vehicle, even if you're not in an accident. It's called no-fault insurance. So, if we go back here and look at this, anybody that's in his car is going to be paid by this policy right here. Anybody in the other car is going to be paid by his bodily injury policy, which has a $50,000 per person, $150,000 total injury. So here's the problem with this question. It doesn't break down who the costs of the insurance are. So if this was all if this whole $53,233 was all one person in the minivan that he hit, that would cap out at $50,000 right here for that person, and he'd have to pay $3,233. He'd have to pay the rest. Okay? But if this is spread out among 7 people, some of which are in his car and some of which are in the other car, this is all going to get paid. The insurance company is going to pay all $53,233. Okay. Now, it might be broken up by the different policies. So some of it might be paid on the personal injury property or protection, and some of it might be paid on the bodily injury. And you know what, frankly, people don't care. I mean, you're not going to care if you're going to owe this. You don't care which policy pays for it as long as somebody's paying for it that's not you, right? So the only way that you're going to get, that Rodrigo's going to get stuck paying for any of this is if one person in the other car, well, actually, one person anywhere has over $50,000 worth of a claim, and then he's going to have to pay the difference. Otherwise, Rodrigo's going to pay nothing. Insurance is going to pay for it all. Okay, very short lesson. You get to do page 17 of your packet, which looks just like this. It says 4.3 selected textbook problems at the top. Okay, and I will post that in Google Classroom for you so that you have that. So I'll see you guys next time.